What is up, you guys? My name is Breyonna, and today we are going to be trying out the brand new e.l.f. Cosmetics Retro Paradise palette, which, oh my gosh, like this palette is so cool. If you haven't seen the colors of it, it definitely is a summer vibe. And I know I technically did like a grungy smoky eye. I just wanted to do something a little bit different, but the color story of this one is just so much fun and super bright. So with this collection, I also got the highlighter. This is the multi-dimensional face and body shimmer in the shade Luna. And the reason that I picked up this collection though is because I absolutely love the J Kissa collection that they did recently. And I'll have my review on that collection linked in the description box down below for you in case you want to check it out. But I just love the formula of the shadows, and I just love the overall quality of that palette. So when I saw e.l.f. launch this collection, I was like, I need that as soon as possible. But before I show you guys how to do this grungy green smoky fantasy, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page, it is @BreyonnaFaye. So first things first, as always, we gotta prime our eyelids before we jump into using the palette. And of course, I'm just gonna be using my absolute favorite, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. So the palette that we are going to be using today is a new one from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and this is called Retro Paradise. It is from their summer collection, and let me tell you, this palette literally caught my eye the second I saw it. I just thought it had a really fun color story. I love that it's very warm tone, but also has like these really cool grungy colors. You know, like this darker blue right here, as well as this kind of like purpley grayish, kind of like sparkly shade. I don't know, there was something about this palette that really caught my eye, so we're going to be trying it out today. I gotta say, like, from a first impression standpoint, I love the packaging. I think it's really nice, and it actually has a really nice quality to it. Like, it does not feel cheap at all. But the first shade that I want to go in with is this really bright green in the palette, and this one is called Baha Mar. And I'm just gonna be taking it with this Morphe. Oh my gosh, like that is so pigmented. I was not expecting that at all. But this is a M412 blending brush. But I'm first going to be popping this baby right into my crease and then doing these little circular motions to blend that upwards towards my brow. I'm also using it to round out my outer V. But man, like that is such a cool shade. It's kind of like a grass green, but it's like a little bit brighter. I'm just going to slightly build it up as well, and I'm mostly focusing the color in my crease because I just want a really defined and kind of like grungy look today. Like, I don't know, I have something planned and I'm hoping that it turns out how I want it to. So we shall see, but my, oh my, like that color though, like the formula is just really nice. And a lot of times greens can just be a nightmare. Like they can just give you harsh lines, they can be really tricky to blend out and look super uneven. But this one I'm just a little shook with. I mean, look how smooth it is on the eye, like it just looks beautiful. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm feeling really ballsy right now, so we're gonna go in with this really dark blue in the palette called Royal. Ooh, she's looking pigmented. I hope that this shade is really easy to work with though, but like I barely touched my brush into the pan and I mean like look how much is on there. But I'm just gonna take it right into my crease. And I'm using this brush from Morphe. It is a M433. And I'm just gonna be popping that right in there, taking the brush the long way. And then afterwards, I'm gonna do these little circular motions to blend that upwards into that green. And I'm also using it to round out my outer V. You know, for a first layer though, like she's really cute. I will say she's not as pigmented as I was expecting it to be. So I'm gonna kind of build it up a little bit. And this shadow might have a buildable formula. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just going to do the exact same thing and let's see what happens. Oh yeah, she's definitely building up really nice. And I'm just going to do a couple layers because I do want a really defined crease today. I know not everybody's into buildable shadows, but for me, I find them just so much easier to work with, especially with deeper colors. So I'm honestly not mad that this shade isn't intense because it's just a lot easier to work with. Because trust me, a lot of deeper shades, especially navy blues, oh, they can give you like the worst harsh lines and they are just such a hot mess a lot of the time. But this one's acting really nice. It kind of reminds me of the deeper blue in the J Kissa palette. Now you could leave this where it's at, but honestly, I want like a little bit, like a tiny bit more definition in my crease. So I'm going to go in with this matte black out of the palette, and it is called Nightlife. And I'm going to take it on this teeny tiny little Morphe brush. I can't remember what it's called. It is a M562. It's a super, super small little blending brush. And I'm just going to be lightly applying Nightlife into my crease as well as using it to round out my outer V. Okay, but like for a matte black, she's really, really nice because it definitely has a buildable formula. And for matte blacks, I definitely prefer a buildable formula because otherwise they can just be so hard to blend out, especially in the crease. But this one's really nice and it's going into that dark blue beautifully. And I'm just going to slightly start building it up just a little bit. But I gotta say, for this palette being like $15, I think it was about $15 or so, I'm just really shook about the quality. These shadows are just so nice. Like, look at that beautiful blend that we're getting. We have no harsh lines. Like, seriously, this palette is outperforming some of my really expensive palettes that I have. Okay, I was wrong. This palette is actually $14. I just looked it up on e.l.f.'s website, and that's without like a discount code. But like $14 and like this type of pigmentation and blendability? Like, why did I sleep on e.l.f. for so long? I know this is technically a summer palette and we're doing a grungy smoky eye, but honestly when I saw those greens and the dark blues, I was like, I need those on my eyes as soon as possible. Like, there's just something about them in the pans, it's just so cool. But off camera though, I'm just gonna quickly cut my crease, and I am gonna be doing just like a normal cut crease. And then afterwards, I'll be right back and then we'll finish up the lid. I gotta say, today must just not be my day. It literally took me like forever to get these cut creases to completely match. And I don't even think that they're matching right now, but I'm just gonna leave it. But after cutting that crease, as you can see, we got this ugly harsh line right here, which is not cute, and we need to get rid of it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that royal shade, that blue that we used earlier, on that Morphe M433. And using the flatter side of the brush, I'm just going to pack whatever's left on that brush on that harsh line. And when I'm doing this, I'm making sure that I am pressing it in so I don't disrupt that base. Now, I don't know if you're like this too, but right now I want all the shimmers in this palette on my eyes, which I know is not possible, but I'm going to try and use as many as we can today. But the first one I'm going to go in with is probably my favorite one in the pan, and that one is called Disco. I am literally so excited to see how this one applies because it's kind of like a lavender, but it has like a little bit of a gray undertone to it, and also has like this bluish kind of like green tinge too. It's a really unique color. And I'm just going to take it on this outer third of my lid using a dampened little flat shader brush. Okay, that is applying a lot different than what I expected. It is almost looking more like a green. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I don't really see much of like a purple look to it. Let me know in the comments down below if you see any purple. But man, like that is such a cool shade, and also it is like a beautiful wet metallic. And I'm slightly overlapping it with this outer third that we just did, just to make sure everything is all nice and seamless. Cause I'm like jamming my mirror up in my face, trying to see if I can find the purple hue. I guess at like a certain angle I can kind of see like a little bit of like a lavender kind of like gray shade. But seriously, like this shade is such a cool duochrome. It has such a cool look to it. Like I cannot get over how nice it is, especially with this palette only being $14. Like the quality of this shadow alone, oh my gosh, like it's better than a lot of my high-end palettes. Like I just can't get over how nice this palette has been so far. And then once you have that applied, the next shade that we are going to be going in with is this super icy shade in the palette, and it is called Sea Salt. And then using a different flat shader brush, I'm just going to be applying it to the rest of my lid, anywhere that that base is still showing. And again, when I'm applying it, I'm making sure that I'm really pressing it in. Oh yeah, like this shade is so cool. It's kind of like an icy white, but it has like this iridescent like purple shimmer to it. So it pairs really well next to Disco. And also it has like this beautiful like wet metallic look to it. I don't know if my camera is going to show it, but in person it has like this gorgeous shine to it. I'm just going to slightly layer it up because I do want it really bright in this inner portion. Oh yeah, she's building up really nice too. I don't know how to explain it, but it just has this gorgeous metallic look to it. And also like these shimmers, they don't crumble, they don't get everywhere. They just have a beautiful formula. Okay, real talk though, I'm just so happy that we took the grungy route with this look. Like, I'm just so obsessed with how this is turning out. Like, it's just so cool and super sparkly. I mean, like, look at this lid right here though. Like, girl, she's gorge. But off camera though, I'm just gonna quickly clean things up a little bit, and I almost dropped my mirror right there with my elbow, which would have not been good, because you can see I do have some fallout right here from that dark blue shade. And I'm also going to apply like my liners, some lashes, some complexion products, and then I'll be right back to finish up the look. So here's where I'm at right now with the look after applying my complexion products as well as some lipstick, and I don't know what it is about it, but I am just living for it. But now we're going to start working on the lower lash line because as you can see, this look, she's looking a little bit top heavy and we need to just bring all that balance back to the look. So I'm first going to line my waterline using this pencil from Appeal Cosmetics. It is in the shade Forest Green, but technically it's kind of like a deepened teal, so we're just going to go in with this. And I'm going to warn you, this pencil is super creamy and super pigmented, so you don't really have to apply that much. I'm just essentially going to do about yay amount. So before that baby sets in place, we have to act really quickly on this. I'm going to mix this bright green that we used earlier with the blue, and I'm doing like a 1-to-1 ratio. And then using this teeny tiny little profusion blending brush, this is technically a small pointed eyeshadow brush. I absolutely love this one so much. I'm just going to start smoking down that liner. And when I'm doing this, I'm doing back and forth motions. And then once you have that lower lash line all nice and smoky, now we can do my absolute favorite part, which is the inner corner highlight, and I'm just so excited to see how this is going to look. But I'm going to go in with that shade that we used earlier, that icy one called Sea Salt. And then using this teeny tiny little pencil brush from Anastasia, I'm going to be packing this in my inner corner. And when I say pack it, like I am really packing it, because I want it extra bright and blinding. And I'm also going to slightly bring it right underneath this point, kind of in my inner tear duct area underneath my eye, just to help open it up. Oh girl, that's really cool. I really love that. Oh my gosh. Like that color as an inner corner highlight though, it's kind of like a grayish icy fantasy, but it has like that little hint of purple to it. Like that next to the green though, that is so sick. I'm going to build it up just a little bit because again, I want it blinding. But man, like for a $14 eyeshadow palette, like that shimmer is nuts. And last but not least, for highlighter today, we are going to be using this one out of the collection. And this is the Multi-Dimensional Face and Body Shimmer. And I believe that this one is in the shade Luna, which is the lightest shade. And I'm just going to apply it to my cheekbones. I haven't like used any setting spray or anything. Ooh, that's cool. That has like a really beautiful wet sheen. It doesn't have like that glittery look to it. So I'm just going to build it up ever so slightly because you guys know I love a good blinding highlight. But ooh, that is so gorgeous though. Like she's blinding if you want to build it up to that. But this color is definitely like a light gold. But the true test is, does it give me a weird cast on my face when I turn my head? Nope. That's even better. The formula of this highlight really reminds me of Anastasia Glow Kits if you've ever used them. Like it has like that certain like creaminess to the formula. This might be my new favorite drugstore highlight because ooh girl, she's pretty. But yeah, so here's the finished look using the e.l.f. Cosmetics Retro Paradise palette from their summer collection, and I don't know what it is up with that, but that is like a tongue twister for me. But I actually had a lot of fun doing this look with you guys today, and I know it's technically a summer collection, but I am really happy that we did like a grungy smoky eye just for something different. So let's go over the formula of the palette, and I do want to go over the mattes in here first because oh my gosh, like I am so shook about the formula. Like the mattes in here, they're just blendable, they're very easy to work with, and they just have a really nice pigmentation to them. I will say the deeper shades in here do have a more buildable formula, so if you're not into that, you might not like these, but I will say the buildable formula makes them so much easier to work with and you won't get any harsh lines from them. As for the shimmers that we use, like seriously, like they're just so good. I mean, like look at this Sea Salt shade right here. Like it has like this gorgeous like wet metallic finish, and even that one that we used called Disco, it just has like the coolest effect on the eyes. Like I was not expecting their shimmers to be that good. Because with more affordable makeup, sometimes the shimmers apply more like a satin, which is fine, like it's really no big deal, but for me personally, I definitely prefer my shimmers with a ton of dimension to them, and the ones that we used today seriously have that. Like I'm just really just blown away with how they look. As for the highlighter that we used out of this collection, the Multi-Dimensional Face and Body Shimmer in the shade Luna, I cannot recommend this one enough, especially if you're into light gold highlights, because the formula of this is just so buttery and so creamy, and it also applies really gorgeous on the skin. And if you're one of those people, like you like a blinding highlight but you don't want like a glittery look, you will love how this one looks on the skin. I'll just show you guys how it swatches, but like I just love how it feels in the pan. And then this is what it looks like on the back of my hand, and you can kind of see it has like that buttery creaminess to it. And what's really nice about this highlight too is that you get a lot of product in it. Like, it is really large for the price. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend the e.l.f. Cosmetics Retro Paradise palette to you guys? And honestly, I cannot recommend this palette enough. Like, it is only $14, and I think $14 is just a steal for this because the quality of the shadows in here is just so amazing. Like, hands down, this actually blows away a lot of my high-end palettes because, you know, the mattes in here, they have a really nice buildable formula. They're also just really nice quality in general. And the shimmers in here, oh my gosh, like, they have such a beautiful dimension to them. If you're looking for a really fun summer palette that can kind of go into fall time, I think you're going to absolutely love this one. As for the highlight that we used, I seriously love how it looks on the face. I mean, like, look how blinding it is. Like, it is gorgeous. But I will say, like, the color of it and the formula, they're not necessarily revolutionary, but if you're looking at it and you're like, man, I really like how it looks and I love the pan size, I think you're going to be really happy with it. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look, and also let me know if you'd like to see more tutorials with this palette. But as always though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page, it is @Breyonna Faye. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!